Gelsemium sempervirens, commonly known as yellow jasmine, is a climbing plant indigenous to the southern United States. Its bark is harvested from the root and used to prepare a homeopathic tincture through maceration. This tincture undergoes potentization to enhance its therapeutic properties. Gelsemium is celebrated in homeopathy for its ability to calm the nervous system and address issues stemming from fear, anticipation, and general physical weakness. The remedy epitomizes a state of overwhelming inertia and paralysis. It is suited to individuals whose vitality seems sapped, leaving them unable to muster the energy for physical or mental activity. This remedy works best for people who have succumbed to emotional or physical stresses, such as fear, stage fright, or bad news, and are left trembling, weak, and mentally foggy. The Gelsemium individual is often seen as passive, introspective, and prone to withdrawing from the world when overwhelmed. They display a characteristic reaction to fear or anticipation, where their emotions manifest physically in the form of trembling, heaviness, and even temporary paralysis. These individuals are not dramatic or expressive. Instead, they seek solitude, quietly hoping their symptoms will resolve on their own. Imagine a woman about to deliver a presentation at a conference. As she prepares, fear takes hold, and her body begins to fail her. Her legs feel like lead, her hands tremble uncontrollably, and her voice falters. Despite knowing her material thoroughly, she feels mentally paralyzed, her thoughts muddled and disorganized. This is the essence of Gelsemium, an overwhelming response to anticipation and fear that incapacitates the individual both mentally and physically. A Gelsemium patient is often recognized by their peculiar physical traits and demeanor. Facial expression. The face may appear flushed, dusky, or mottled, with a dull, heavy expression. Eyes, drooping eyelids, or ptosis make the person look fatigued, and their eyes may appear glassy or congested. Posture. The body exudes weakness with trembling hands and an overall unsteady gait. Temperature contrasts. The patient may have a hot, congested head, yet icy cold extremities reflecting poor circulation. Peculiar symptoms, drooping eyelids. The inability to keep the eyes open due to muscular weakness is a key indicator of Gelsemium. Emotional diarrhea. Anticipatory anxiety or fear triggers sudden, painless diarrhea, especially before stressful events like exams or public speaking. Occipital headaches. These headaches often start at the back of the head, spreading forward and improving after profuse urination. Heavy, leaden limbs. A sensation of extreme heaviness and inability to move defines the Gelsemium state. Internal trembling. Even when not visible, the person feels as though their body is shaking internally. Confirmatory symptoms: lack of thirst during fevers or heat, trembling hands, especially during emotional excitement, fear of falling, particularly in children who cling to caregivers or objects, aversion to company or conversation. They prefer solitude. Fever and influenza. Gelsemium is a classic remedy for fevers that develop slowly and are accompanied by a sense of heaviness and prostration. Patients experience chills up and down their spine, muscle aches, and a hot, congested head. They often lie still, too exhausted to move, with little to no thirst. Emotional stress and stage fright. For individuals paralyzed by fear or anticipation, whether it's an exam, public speaking, or a meeting, Gelsemium offers profound relief. Symptoms include trembling, mental fog, and diarrhea. Unlike other remedies, the patient does not act impulsively or dramatically, but remains subdued and inert. Headaches. Occipital headaches, often accompanied by blurred vision and neck stiffness, are common in Gelsemium patients. The pain is dull and heavy, relieved by lying down or urination. Neurological and paralytic conditions. Gelsemium treats temporary paralysis caused by emotional shocks, such as bad news or sudden fear. It also helps with conditions like ptosis, writer's cramp, and post-diphtheritic paralysis, where muscle coordination and strength are impaired. Bryonia alba. Both remedies avoid motion, but for different reasons. Bryonia avoids movement because it exacerbates pain. Gelsemium avoids movement because of profound weakness. Aconitum napellus aconite is indicated for sudden violent reactions to fear or shock. In contrast, Gelsemium's onset is slow, with symptoms creeping in over hours or days. Ignatia amara ignatia is suited for dramatic emotional reactions such as grief or hysteria, with marked mood swings. Gelsemium addresses fear and anticipatory anxiety that leads to physical paralysis. Argentum nitricum. Both are useful for anticipatory anxiety, but Argentum nitricum features impulsive, hurried behavior and peculiar cravings such as sweets. Gelsemium is marked by inertia, mental dullness and trembling. Children. A child starting at a new school may feel anxious, cling to their caregiver and complain of feeling weak and tired. Performers. A musician suffering from stage fright may experience trembling hands, cold extremities and a sense of mental fog before stepping onto the stage. Students. A student preparing for an exam may develop headaches, blurry vision and an urge to isolate themselves due to anticipatory fear. Gelsemium Sempervirens is a deeply effective remedy for emotional, mental and physical states of paralysis and exhaustion. It is particularly suited to individuals overwhelmed by fear, anticipation or stress, manifesting as weakness, trembling and mental dullness. Whether treating a student frozen by exam fear, a public speaker overcome by stage fright, or a feverish patient unable to rise from bed, Gelsemium provides relief and restores balance. By addressing both the emotional and physical aspects of these conditions, it stands out as a cornerstone remedy in homeopathic practice. This information is provided for professional homeopathic practitioners only. The author assumes no responsibility or liability for any misuse or improper application of the remedy. This remedy should only be used under the supervision of a qualified homeopathic practitioner. That's all for today. Do you know why holistic treatment is important? Feel free to share in the comments below. If you'd like to learn about new remedies, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to cover them as soon as possible.